In Kampala's busy streets, the pulse of a young nation is unmistakable. Every corner, every alley, every market stall is alive with the energy and ambition of Uganda's youth, who make up the majority of the population. Yet beneath this vibrant surface, a quiet struggle unfolds. Uganda's youth face a stark reality. Despite their dreams and determination, they are confronted by a world that often seems indifferent to their hopes. Brenda, a recent graduate, stands in her gown, degree in hand, her family's pride shining in their eyes. But a year later, she's earning a living on a boda, weaving through traffic, not in an office as she once imagined. Her story is not unique, but a reflection of a generation's challenge. This isn't her failure, but a system's. The jobs she studied for simply don't exist, and the opportunities she was promised have faded into the distance. Uganda's population is overwhelmingly young, but the economy can't provide enough jobs. Each year, hundreds of thousands of new graduates join the search, only to find doors closed and options limited. Dreams nurtured in classrooms crash against a job market that offers little beyond the informal sector. Many end up selling goods on the street, hustling for daily survival, or taking on work far below their qualifications. Frustration simmers as young people, connected to global opportunities via smartphones, feel left behind. They see peers abroad building careers, while their own ambitions are stifled by circumstances beyond their control. It's not just about money, it's about dignity and the right to build a future. For many, the struggle is about being seen, heard, and given a chance to contribute meaningfully to their country. Brenda's story is echoed by millions. Education was promised as the key, but the locks have changed. The certificates they hold feel like tickets to nowhere, as the reality of unemployment bites deeper each year. This generation waits, full of potential, but trapped by political and economic barriers. Their talents and ideas are put on hold as they watch time slip by. Their aspirations are held hostage by decades-old chains, policies, and systems that have failed to evolve with the needs of a growing, dynamic youth population. The gap between youthful ambition and economic reality is Uganda's most volatile fault line. It is a tension that shapes not just individual lives, but the nation's future. The nation's future depends on whether this energy is unleashed or wasted. The choices made today will determine if Uganda's youth remain a generation in waiting or become the architects of a new tomorrow. At the very heart of Uganda's story stands President Yoweri Museveni, a leader who has held the reins of power since 1986. For nearly 4 decades, his presence has shaped every aspect of the nation's political and social landscape. Once celebrated as a liberator and a beacon of hope, Museveni's rule has gradually become synonymous with stagnation. The promise of progress has faded, replaced by a sense of resignation and frustration among many Ugandans who feel left behind by a government that no longer listens. The political system is carefully engineered to maintain Museveni and his close allies in power. Instead of serving the people, the machinery of government now works to protect the interests of a select few, leaving ordinary citizens with little say in their own future. In 2017, a pivotal moment arrived when the Constitution was amended, abolishing presidential age limits and effectively allowing Museveni to rule for life. This move sent a clear message. The future of Uganda is often sacrificed to prolong one man's tenure, regardless of the nation's needs. In this environment, loyalty to the president, not talent or vision, determines who rises to positions of influence. This culture of patronage stifles innovation, discourages accountability, and leaves many young, ambitious Ugandans feeling excluded from shaping their country's destiny. State institutions, from the Electoral Commission to the judiciary, are tightly controlled and often serve as tools to reinforce the status quo. Checks and balances are weakened, making it nearly impossible for real change to take root. Elections, while held regularly, do little more than legitimize the existing power structure. For many, the act of voting feels like a ritual with a predetermined outcome, rather than a genuine opportunity for change. For most Ugandans, especially the youth, Museveni is the only leader they have ever known. This reality makes it difficult to imagine a different future, or to believe that meaningful transformation is possible within their lifetime. Instead of focusing on national development, the political conversation is dominated by endless debates about succession. The question of who will come after Museveni overshadows urgent issues like education, healthcare, and jobs. As a result, the nation feels paralyzed, caught in a holding pattern, waiting for a political chapter that refuses to end. Progress is stalled, and hope for a brighter tomorrow remains just out of reach. Uganda's journey forward is stalled by the enduring shadow of one man, leaving millions to wonder when or if the nation will finally be free to move ahead. When frustration spills into the streets, the state's response is swift and harsh. Protests are treated as threats, not rights. Opposition leaders like Bobi Wine and Kizza Besigye face arrests and intimidation, kept from the public eye. Rallies are banned and security forces crack down hard. Recent anti-corruption protests ended in mass arrests. This climate of fear discourages ordinary citizens from speaking out. With protest blocked, grievances fester underground, risking future eruptions. The government's reliance on force reveals its insecurity and weak social contract. For Uganda's youth, this only deepens alienation and the sense that the system is rigged. Corruption in Uganda isn't an accident, it's the system. Public funds are siphoned off by elites while hospitals and schools go without. This breeds deep distrust and a belief that leaders serve themselves, not the people. Corruption cripples the economy, distorts markets, and leaves infrastructure half-built. Every stolen shilling is a direct tax on the poor, robbing them of services and hope. The culture of graft seeps into daily life, making bribery a norm for basic needs. Public trust is shattered, and anti-corruption promises ring hollow. High-profile officials rarely face real consequences protected by patronage. Two sets of laws exist, one for the powerful, another for everyone else. Without real reform, Uganda remains trapped in a cycle of wasted potential. For Ugandan families, education is the prized path out of poverty. Parents sacrifice everything for school fees, hoping for stable jobs for their children. But degrees often lead to unemployment, as the formal job market is tiny. The education system is out of sync with economic needs, leaving graduates stranded. Most end up in the informal sector, boda-bodas, market stalls, or subsistence farming. This world is about survival, not dreams. Since 2020, inflation has made daily life even harder, with families forced to choose between food, medicine, and school fees. National debt, especially to China, eats up government revenue, starving health and education. The cycle is vicious, borrowing to build, but debt cripples the very sectors that could drive progress. The youth are left with little hope for advancement. Uganda's future is mortgaged, and its young people pay the price. Ethnic and regional identity shapes Uganda's politics and opportunity. Museveni's government is accused of favoring his own Banyankole group and the western regions. Key jobs and resources flow to a select few, fueling resentment and regional disparities. The north and east, often in opposition, lag behind in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Politicians exploit these divisions, deepening polarization. Tribal loyalty trumps national unity, making consensus elusive. Marginalization breeds volatility and local conflicts. Uganda's progress depends on building an inclusive, equitable society for all. Uganda's internal struggles are shaped by its global alliances. As a key security partner, it long enjoyed Western support despite democratic backsliding. But recent crackdowns and harsh laws have strained these ties, prompting Western criticism and aid threats. In response, Uganda has turned to China and Russia for loans and support, without lectures on rights. This pivot deepens debt and shifts influence, but risks losing vital Western aid for health and development. The diplomatic balancing act has real consequences for ordinary Ugandans. Every choice between East and West shapes the nation's future. Uganda walks a tightrope, with sovereignty and well-being at stake. Uganda's story echoes across Africa, a young, restless population facing unemployment and stalled dreams. From Nigeria to Kenya, youth are rising up, demanding opportunity and accountability. The big man politics and patronage systems are all too familiar, weakening democracy continent-wide. Corruption and economic pressures are shared burdens, fueled by global shocks and domestic failures. The challenge? Creating enough jobs for the world's fastest-growing youth population. Uganda is a case study in a broader continental struggle. These are not uniquely Ugandan failures, but structural, post-colonial challenges. Cross-border inspiration offers hope. Protests and solutions can be shared. A continent-wide movement for better governance is taking shape. Uganda's story is one of potential deferred, but it's not over. For decades, the nation has faced challenges that have tested the spirit of its people: political turmoil, economic hardship, and social divisions. Yet beneath the surface, hope endures. The Ugandan people have always shown a remarkable ability to adapt, to dream, and to strive for a better tomorrow. The power to change lies with the people, not the powerful few. When communities unite, their collective voice can break through even the most entrenched barriers. Every act of solidarity, every hand raised in unity, is a step toward reclaiming the nation's future. Economic stagnation and repression are choices. New choices can be made. The empty markets and shuttered businesses are not inevitable. They are the result of decisions that can be changed. With courage and vision, Ugandans can choose a path of renewal and growth. Ugandans must refuse to accept the status quo, channeling frustration into peaceful, organized demands for change. It is through nonviolent action and persistent advocacy that real transformation becomes possible. The youth, in particular, have the energy and creativity to lead this movement. Building coalitions across ethnic lines is key to good governance and shared prosperity. When leaders and citizens from all backgrounds come together, they can create a foundation for lasting peace and inclusive progress. Journalists, activists, and opposition figures need support to keep truth alive. Their courage in speaking out, often at great personal risk, is essential for holding power to account and ensuring that the voices of ordinary Ugandans are heard. The international community must invest in democracy, not just stability, and ensure aid empowers the people. True partnership means supporting local initiatives, fostering transparency, and standing with those who seek justice and freedom. Loans should build the nation, not entrench autocracy. Investments must serve the public good, creating jobs, improving infrastructure, and lifting communities out of poverty, rather than enriching a select few. Uganda's youth are its greatest resource. The challenge is to unlock their potential. By investing in education, innovation, and entrepreneurship, the nation can harness the creativity and ambition of its young people to drive progress. This is a call to action. Demand more, vote, hold leaders accountable, and build a nation worthy of your dreams. Every citizen has a role to play in shaping Uganda's destiny, and together, real change is possible. The road is hard, but Ugandans are resilient. Through adversity, they have shown strength, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to a brighter future. It's time to write a new, brighter chapter for the Pearl of Africa. The dawn is breaking. Let us rise together and shape a future filled with hope, dignity, and opportunity for all.